When I first came here, it was a very different place because what we now call the maths block was called the new block, and it was only 2/3 the size. They added onto it. We didn't have the sports hall. We didn't have the AEN block. We didn't have the whole of the sort of technology and technology classrooms that go all the way down the side of the Year 9 playground. They've all been built since I've been here.
The Hurstmere fields were open. You could walk from the field where the football and rugby pitch are now, across where the golf club house is and the 3G, and out across Penhill Field.
And the other thing you had was the river, which has been culverted, used to flow through part of the school. So you would get boys jumping over the river, but also you would get boys who would try and go into the culverted part and walk towards Sidcup, towards the grammar school, and try and raise some of the manhole covers halfway across the field.
It was quite common to see Year 7s, or first years as they were at the time, standing outside the office completely drenched from head to toe, where some clown had thrown them in the stream.
For when I first started at Hurstmere, we used to have lessons that were 35 minutes long.
Very short. Very,
very short. So you had to be really organised. Lots of cajoling boys along the corridor to make sure they got there on time. We used to do paper registers.
So
yes.
Someone would have to deliver it, or would someone come and pick it up?
We had a register book that we had to fill in, and it was collected by the office. So you had to make sure that you were writing in it with your best handwriting, so that the person could look after it. Boys always loved being register monitors. It was a job that they always enjoyed doing. We used to have, when I first started here, commendation slips. So where we have credits and merits now, we had to sit as teachers and write out pink slips. That was the same for behaviour as well. And everything was in triplicate. So a copy went to the office, we kept a copy, and then a copy went in the young person's file. So none of this Sims, everything, no technology, none of that, no. And as a teacher, we used to have to handwrite all of our acetates, and I've still kept mine. So in my office, I have lots and lots of folders of all the lessons that you had to plan. So whereas now we'd put PowerPoints up on the screen, everything was done on these plastic sheets that we used to write on. We had the rolling blackboards.
Yeah, we did.
You know, chalkboards. So you know, you'd be in your suit. You'd write things on the board, 5 hours a day, and then you're
covered.
Covered with this dust.
So I think now there's far more consistency. Whereas when I first started, we could be a little bit wilder in what we were doing. We didn't probably have such a pressure to deliver on PowerPoints. We could be very creative.
Technology has certainly moved on, so in my maths classroom, I can now just use my finger and
all digital screens.
It's all very good.
Again, being in the P department, we're very lucky to have talented lads, and running a sports team is such a rewarding thing.
The majority of my time here has been spent out on the fields and in the sports hall, and taking part in PE and helping with all the extracurricular PE as well, which has been a real joy.
All of my extracurriculum was sport. I was in cricket team, rugby team, football team, so that was mainly what I was drawn towards. So we were the first form group, led by Miss Davis, to win our sports day consecutively every year we was here. So our form was called King, and we were the Kings. So yeah.
Rugby was my calling. And on my first day at Hurstmere, it's Mr. Licence, our tutor group lead, who was throughout our time at Hurstmere. He sized me up, looked me up and down. He said, "You're a big lad." And I said, "Have you played rugby?" And I looked at him, bewildered, quizzical. "What's that, sir?" Because at that moment, I had no idea what it was. I went along to training, got stuck in. Before I knew it, I was absolutely hooked. From that moment on, rugby became my passion. I went on to play outside of school, up to county levels, and nowadays I regularly cheer on England and the Harlequins through the stands rather than being on the pitch.
Even in my first year, in the year 2000, my little Year 7 class, my little Year 17, we won the Kent Cup and the North Kent Cup in the first year. So that was a great start.
Ivan Jones, as Andy's already mentioned, was the headmaster, and every time as we filed in for assemblies, he'd be standing there as this stoic with his big black gown with the draping arms and staring at us as we all walked in, really sheepish. I remember one assembly, it was snow, and in his dulcet tones he came out with, "There is to be no snowballing on the premises."
Every Friday the staff would get together, and that created a real sense of a community and a real family.
We had staff football team. When it wasn't football season, we'd have staff volleyball, staff basketball, the staff cricket team. And it went on for years and years and years and years and years.
When you talk about, you know, what's rewarding of Hurstmere, memories of Hurstmere, extracurricular is definitely right up there.
And we also went on school trips,
Yeah.
which were an integral part of, whether it's Mersey Island, the year trips that followed the year sevens, or in my case, organising the ski trips. And work experience, another example of boys as they progress through the school, being of a particular age to take on a particular challenge, whether it's a working situation or activities like skiing, with all that entails. That's a really good thing to see them do well.
I was really lucky that I got to go to Zambia, so I experienced that with the PE department and a small group of students, which was amazing. I've been on the Iceland trip with the geography team, and that was incredible.
I've always enjoyed travelling, and I like exploring new places. And when you see different places, different landscapes, it's quite inspiring. So I've tried to inspire that in the children that I've taught over the years at Hurstmere.
Jumping into a pool with students in Zambia, expecting the pool to be hot, and it was so cold that we couldn't even catch our breath.
When I was head of year 9, we went to Souston on a water sports holiday. But on this one, I was incredibly grateful to one particular year 10, because as we were whitewater rafting, I got thrown out of the raft and ended up underneath the raft. And I can admit now I was panicking slightly and thinking I'm in real trouble. And then all of a sudden I felt myself being grabbed by my life jacket and being hoisted out by one of the year 10 boys. So otherwise, had he not been so quick thinking, I may not be sitting here now. So I've got some real fond memories of trips.
It did develop you as a character. I wouldn't be where I am today without the Hurstmere grounding. And there is an affection, there's such a tempo and energy to everything you do, and that's carried through the identity and the culture of what you do.
Waking up each morning, knowing that you've got 215 kids in your year group, knowing that during that day they're going to need you for something, whatever it may be, you know, a good thing, a bad thing, whatever, you know. But the pastoral side has just been there. PE's been great. Pastoral's been wake up every morning happy.
My standout memories would be when I was a form tutor and building those relationships with the form.
I think relationships in school are really, really important because we are all here for the same thing, and that is for each and every one of us to become the best that we can be. That's as teachers to be the best that we can be, so that we can allow our boys to become the best that we can be.
I think that's one of the key things. The whole point is you interact with young people and you go on a journey with them, and you're very pleased to see how they progress and they thrive.
It's not until coming in today that it's nice to look back sometimes and actually realise how good it was and how you've become the person you've become, rather than just sort of racing through life thinking that you're the creator of everything, you're the driving force. Actually, there's so many people along your journey that will have a huge influence on you without you knowing it now.
It wasn't just about hitting the books, it was about discovering our worth on the sports fields, or playing in bands, or really realising our potential to succeed in whatever we pursue.
We were given a very rounded education and some great life lessons. Looking back, I think my time at Hurstmere was a fantastic time for growth, development and education. And I think the stigma of not passing 11 plus was long forgotten, and life was to be grasped and your success was to be built on the acceptance of what you can achieve.
This is a place where staff will challenge you, but they will support you and they will encourage you to do the best that you can.
It allowed me freedom to be a little bit cheeky, not want to say naughty. It allowed me to be creative, but yeah, also just gave me the platform to know what's right, what's wrong, how to conduct yourself in certain situations. I think as students, we were never spoke at like children. We were spoke to as adults, which I think helped massively. So yeah, I left school with bundles of confidence. That's my journey anyway. I think that was always instilled in us, that no matter what your dream is or what you're thinking, feeling, go for it and commit to it 100%.
It is a place where I think it makes me smile every day. There is always something, and generally my smiles come from what the young people do.
Yeah.
I love being around young people. They never cease to amaze me, good and bad.
Yeah.
But I think Hurstmere is a really special place.
It's a place where I feel fulfilled. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.